What is up, everyone? It is Lovenji Gaming, and I am here with a retrospective shoutcast of the first of the best of 5 series. Every video or every match after the first one will have game sound and will also have live commentary. The audio was messed up as a result of a number of technical difficulties. That meant the first match, we were desperate to get it underway. We were about 2 hours late trying to sort the issues with a 1.5 patch, combined with a refusal of OBS to work with us. So the mic was not good for this one, so much so that I just took the hit and completely muted this stream segment. Matches 2, 3, 4, and 5 will all have the live audio, as the microphone is fine for that, as is the game sound. So, here we are. We've got the bases playing as a yellow tribe. On the first map, Hollow Fields. It's going to be Firestorm. And then playing as the red tribe, it's going to be Balloon. So, yellow is Firestorm, red is Balloon. My commentary is not going to time up to the audio at all. I was casting this all live like people could hear me. The first 10 minutes they couldn't hear me. The rest of the cast, it was just a nightmare. Okay, so we're retrospectively casting this. I've never done a retrospective cast before, so we'll see how this goes. It might be awful, and then we'll never do another one. So don't worry about it if you don't like it. If it turns out really bad, we probably won't do it again. But both our players going to be doing the standard opening for Hollow Fields. Standard opening, of course, being that they're just going to convert Wildmen and build lots of towers. Now, Balloon is a player who typically on this map, and it wasn't his map pick, so Firestorm won the coin toss. Firestorm banned Dead Sea. Balloon's ban was Face Off, which then meant Firestorm got first map pick. So Firestorm picked Hollow Fields. Now, we've seen Balloon play on Hollow Fields quite a lot. This map does get picked a reasonable amount. And what Balloon tends to do is let the trees die. In fact, Balloon is actually really quite bad at caring for said trees. But he's going to be finishing out his convert, getting these straggling ones. Neither Shaman player going to be doing anything too sneaky to start us off. Of course, Boat versus Earthquake, we saw a warrior rush from Boat, so that could have been on the cards, but it doesn't look like we're going to see that here. You can see the yellow tribe has been harvesting wood, built a fire warrior training hut as well. And it's just working on getting those initial huts up, being cautious not to build on trees, which is always nice to see. You don't want to cut that wood down. And I'm actually casting this while I'm drinking a glass of wine, so it couldn't possibly be more upper class. So, nice little 2 convert on the middle strip there, went neglected by both players, just going to get picked up by red, and we can see the first look at the populations. We've got 50 for our red Shaman player out of a 32 green bar. And we're just taking a little look at the bases. Red has built a significantly large number of towers. 9 towers to be exact. And you can see 50 out of 38 for yellow. So 51, 35, and then 50 out of 38. Yellow a little bit further ahead on the green bar. Our red Shaman player a little bit further ahead on the actual pop. But of course that doesn't matter, because as we can see, our yellow Shaman's going to be pushing in here. She's on the front line. Nice little blast, but she does actually manage to survive that. The Fire Warrior is not quite able to get her. She's going to throw a frontline Earthquake down and retreat. Fire Warriors get a farewell volley, which results in the death of the yellow Shaman. And that Earthquake doesn't cut in a particularly great way, meaning that the damage probably wasn't worth it for the usage of that spell. So we've got Ghost coming forward for our red player, going to be distracting those Fire Warriors in towers as I just check the side door. And the red shaman's doing good, throwing down quick blasts onto wayward fire warriors that are sent towards her, even picking up the braves that are sent to slow her down as well. The fire warriors do get a final volley, send the red shaman running away, but they all do turn around again. And so our red shaman's doing a very, very patient battle with them, almost dying to proximity damage, but those fire warriors do duck into the towers, which means further ghost armies would be required to displace them. So red was first to fill his side door defense, and that means those towers shoot first, and those towers can actually take out the towers of yellow. You sort of saw that damaged ground in the horizon there. Yellow losing a tower to the fact that fire warriors are actually shooting over that line. It'd be quite annoying. Screen goes black as I mute someone. Mute someone for asking what yellow's population is. But both of our shamans going to be doing a little dance on the front line. Neither shaman looking to get a kill in because neither particularly has terribly damaging spells. If yellow were to kill red there, yellow could like earthquake some towers but wouldn't have the spells to be able to get further in and actually do any real lasting damage to the population. Yellow shaman's going to retreat after taking a blast. A little bit of a warning shot, as it were, from our player balloon. And we can see that the bases are coming up and the wood is starting to look a bit typical. There's more trees here than I was expecting to see, I have to be honest, but red causing absolute forest-related massacring, even building a warrior training hut just to further annihilate those trees. Both shamans dancing on the middle strip. It looks like the red shaman's actually going to push forward. They trade blasts, neither shaman connected by the blast. The screen goes black for some reason. Why is it going black, I wonder? And we miss it. Is the yellow shaman dying? Like I said, this particular shoutcast was riddled with technical problems. The patch caused a bit of a major freak out and everything was a bit rushed because we were 2 hours behind. I know I've said that already, but I'll say it once again. The rest of the games in this match go off without a hitch. So either skip on ahead to game number 2 of this best of 5, or bear with me. I assure you it's not that way for the whole video. We did get this fixed out in the break after game 1. So, Ghost Army is going to be annoying Fire Warriors, going to be harassing them a little bit. Further ghosts do come down. Our Yellow Shaman dancing behind the tower line. She's going to come forward, try to get a kill onto red. The blasts are good from both Shamans, but neither actually find a connection. And we got an Earthquake coming in for red onto the front line. You know how I feel about these Earthquakes. I hate them. It does cut in a pretty annoying way for our Yellow Shaman player. It actually cuts off yellow more than it cuts off red. And given that that's yellow's hill, that could be a position that is easily fortified, stolen away, and then fortified by red. Keep yellow pinned into the base. We saw a really nice lightning out of the Yellow Shaman there, going to be able to take out our Red Shaman. And it'll be down to what Yellow can do with this time. Precious seconds as Yellow Warriors run on in to start absorbing shots from the towers. They're going to separate themselves amongst the Braves. Try to get in a couple of towers. We've got a tornado coming down on one of the front line towers as well. But the Ghost Army and Blast follow-ups for our Yellow Shaman. She's trying to push on in. She's trying to get some damage. She's going to earthquake towers again. Woohoo! And there you go. One hut, one tower does go down to that earthquake. Another tower, another hut on fire, but can eventually be repaired. Yellow's sort of reinforced the side door defense after losing that first tower, has made sure that there's still plenty of towers on the side there. 3 towers is not the ideal amount. The reason that 3 is not the ideal amount is because Shamans have 4 lightnings. So you want a minimum of 4 towers. You're thinking, well, if she has 4 lightnings, why is 4 towers better than 3? It's because you typically use 1 to kill a Shaman. So in a Shaman duel, first lightning becomes a kill on the Shaman, then lightnings 2 through 4 become anti-tower lightning, so if there's a 4th tower, she has to at least charge 1 more lightning after having killed your Shaman, or use another spell. Not saying that that's guaranteed to stop her getting in, but it's all about the mana that you make your opponent use. Now we see in the horizon there, because I'm busy, I don't know, dicking around, the lightning from yellow did not connect, but it was well placed enough that it sent red flying into the water. But red got a cheeky little lag blast, as Babbo likes to call them, off, and that sent yellow flying into the water. So both Shamans dying via water death as well, going to get that reduced timer. Those of you new to Populous wondering what I mean by that reduced death timer, there's 2 known death timers within the base game of Populous, although the game doesn't treat it like that. Basically, a unit isn't counted as dead and the respawn timer triggered until its ghost lifts off and goes off. So if you've ever seen a Shaman die on land, the ghost stays there for like a good 10 seconds. You know, you see her little dead body before it becomes a ghost and ascends to heaven. When you die via water, that ghost ascends straight away. So that reduced ghost timer, screen's gone black again. Great job, Lovenji. You're really, really good at this. Because the ghost goes to the heavens immediately, that's where that reduced death timer actually comes from in terms of the game mechanics. Lightning from our yellow player does connect onto the red Shaman. Ghost going to be utilized to push the Fire Warrior out of that tower. Very good from our red Shaman, does manage to retreat that Fire Warrior. Does eventually get killed by the follow-up blast. Double Tornado coming out for yellow, going to strip back some of this defense. There's a lightning onto one of the towers, a land bridge to connect over. Yellow could be looking to get into the base here. Fire Warriors have been clicked on yellow Shaman. They get a double shot, but it's not enough to kill her. She's still alive, but Fire Warriors approaching from all angles. What's going on here? Fire Warriors do fire off enough shots to take down our yellow Shaman. Here comes the onslaught of red warriors. We can see an opening up of a secondary path. Now, we can see that our red Shaman has access to the land bridge and has warriors positioned on the other front, so it's going to be the big attack here for our red Shaman player. There's the land bridge, not the best one in the world. I prefer it when people connect to the high ground, because now the warriors have to run back up that hill. But they've been grouped together a little bit, so they are going to take the splash damage from the Fire Warriors. Yellow's also got a couple of warriors in position to distract them, forcing red Shaman to use a swarm to scatter them, stop them getting into fights before the red warriors can do a little bit of damage to the defense. So our red Shaman's retreating and then pushing forward again, playing very patiently, but our yellow Shaman gets a wonderful shove with the lightning. Forces red to roll into the drink. And that is the end of that attack for our red Shaman. The warriors are going to get cleaned up soon. You can see trees looking a little on the low side, better than is normal for Balloon. Balloon normally causes total deforestation, but this time it looks like Balloon's tried to take better care of it. So, look at these red fire warriors. They're all coming in en masse. They do fire off a volley to the ghosts. Before their second volley is good, they get the yellow Shaman before she can use any spells. So we can just see that our red Shaman's defense is looking a little bit vulnerable. Now our red Shaman's going to have to shore that up. Population's 108 to 106. 163 green bar to 148, or something like that. So our red Shaman gets picked up by a tornado, which is absolutely fantastic. Fire Warriors fire a couple of volleys at her while she's in the tornado, followed with the you die now volley of when she lands. Gonna make sure she dies as this tornado goes off into the horizon, picking up even more Fire Warriors, just being that little bit extra annoying. Because the yellow Shaman does have an opportunity for a counter-attack now. Whether she takes that or not That's entirely up to her, but she does have the opportunity. Red Braves being sent individually at the Shaman. Just slowing her down, forcing her to use a blast. And she's got to wait for the Brave to land if she doesn't spell walk. Those Fire Warriors get clicked out of the hut, and good thing too, because it's Earthquake time. Earthquake coming down on that frontline hut. That hut is no more. Those Fire Warriors would have been no more with it. But they have been clicked onto the Shaman, which means they are going to charge at her relentlessly, perhaps to their own detriment. As they just continue to charge down the Yellow Shaman, intent on making her die. So, here we are, once again, a little bit of normalization as both Shamans are alive. Red tries to throw out a long-range lightning from a tower, doesn't quite find the kill, so Yellow's forced to back off, but look how far into Yellow's own base Yellow has to back off. And by not doing so, Red throws down a second lightning, and it's a great kill onto the Yellow Shaman. Frontline Earthquake, oh, I hate these, but hey. It's going to force Balloon to have to reconnect. Or use the other path. Neither of those are particularly ideal. There you go, there's the Red Shaman reconnecting via land. Lightning comes down onto one of the frontline towers. It looks like a lot of these towers have been emptied, actually. Another Earthquake on the front line, a little bit deeper this time. It does burn a couple of the towers, but really doesn't do very much damage at all. That's both of Red's Earthquakes for the moment being. We've seen them both, so Yellow can breathe a breath of fresh air, knowing that Red isn't going to suddenly appear in the middle of the base with a hellstorm of volcanoes. Earthquakes. Yellow catches Red Shaman trying to dip into a tower. Nicely placed lightning does secure the kill. Red does not find the revenge kill. Population 119 for our Yellow player, as Yellow once again has an opportunity to attack into the Red base. And you can see Yellow's green bar is still stuck at 161 as well, meaning that she hasn't taken terribly much actual damage to the main base. The front line looks a bit messy and the towers are damaged and it's all really, really annoying, but that's kind of it. So our Yellow Shaman just going to be clearing up the warriors that trickle in. It's a bit lazy trooping, really, as we're 17 minutes into this game and you're just trickling individual warriors into a defensive fire, warriors, and a shaman. You're really just sending those men to their death. Red continuing to build without the trees to do so. That's very typical of Red's playstyle, bless him. A well-placed lightning does secure the kill onto the Yellow Shaman, so Red once again with an opportunity to try to push into this base. You can see that the proximity blasts are going down. We're going to be seeing what our Red Shaman does here. A couple of blasts onto Wayward Fire Warriors. You've got to be careful because these Fire Warriors are starting to approach from multiple angles. We do see an Earthquake coming out of the Red Shaman. The Red Shaman's actually going to patiently hold her own. And just blast troops as she sees them. She's even going to stay down on the low ground so that she doesn't get into the line of sight of Fire Warriors and actually bring her own Fire Warriors up in defense, which is a nice little strategy. That's a good, smart decision to make. Red does have a Firestorm. Not using it on 3 troops is very smart play. Actually holding on to that spell for a potentially devastating attack later. Real unfortunate for Red to die there. Max range S-click from a tower. Those things are great. As the Red Shaman does die. But Red's still got the Firestorm in the chamber. That's exactly why you don't want to just waste big spells like that. You get 3 population, but Firestorms have the capability to kill a lot more population. And 4 huts. If you place a Firestorm in 4 huts that have been built in a grid, they will all be destroyed by said Firestorm. Guaranteed. Yellow dies, throwing off another Earthquake onto defense as the towers fire off a beautiful little volley. Teach the Shaman how to fly. here we are. We're once again looking. Yellow's got a good amount of towers spread, but a lot of them have been empty. Categorically, Yellow's a bit too quick to shift-click the Fire Warriors onto the Shamans, and shift-clicks all the Fire Warriors onto the Shaman, which means a lot of these towers end up just emptying themselves out. We've got a two-pronged strike coming in for our Red Shaman. She throws down lightnings onto the frontline towers, and she's got warriors going into the towers on the other path at the same time. Nice little use of troops down one path and Shaman down to other. Once again, we witness a Shaman duel for the ages. Red Shaman rolls forward, throws down the Earthquake. Gets a couple of huts and a tower, then completely undermines that compliment that I gave him by blowing his Firestorm on next to nothing. He is very lucky there that he does actually secure this Shaman kill as a result, so it's kind of worth it. But only so far as you were lucky that you got the Shaman killed there. You can never guarantee that a Shaman is actually going to die when you Firestorm her. There's even been times when she's almost completely surrounded by water, and some lucky git keeps her alive in spite of the fact that that's really the one time you should be able to guarantee that a Shaman dies via Firestorm. So, a little bit of an improvisation from our red player. I complimented him for his use of Firestorm and then am forced to take that compliment back almost immediately as he goes from an incredibly patient player to one who has no regard for the amount of mana that he has available to him whatsoever. But what you can see is that these red troops are pouring in. Warriors splitting themselves up all over the base, and even Fire Warriors being brought in for support as well. Populous is a game of territories, and as you can see, Yellow's really struggling to hold on to the territory that he has. It's quite a long game, about 20 minutes or so still, and you can see that Red is just on fire with these Shaman duels, getting these wonderful laggy S-clicks, as Baba would like to say, onto our Yellow player. Population's 143 out of 181, so our red player has not had any problems growing whatsoever. Even going to be throwing down a few blasts as well, clearing up various graves along the way. Fire Warriors patrolling on the spot, going to be firing off a few volleys to keep the Braves from reaching the Shaman. Very clever usage of these frontline Fire Warriors, because you can always retreat your Shaman to those Fire Warriors and they'll provide covering fire. And then, if you completely forget that, you do what the Red Shaman did there, which was walk way too far away from the Fire Warriors, so they couldn't actually help. Combination of Brave, pushes, multiplicative with Fire Warrior volleys while the Shaman is airborne. And she goes for a little aquatic voyage. Now, that does mean that our Yellow Shaman is going to be able to launch a counterattack, and as you can see, there are Yellow Warriors on the way going to spread themselves out amongst the towers to try to deal some form of damage, as our Yellow Shaman is still getting harassed by individual Braves. I'm not even sure how those Braves are getting in there, but they most certainly are there, and they most certainly are being very irritating to our Yellow Shaman, who is blasting as much as she physically can to try to take this population out. Yellow Shaman looking like she's managed to gain some form of stability. Lightning does hit her. She does throw down a frontline Earthquake. It's not the best Earthquake in the world, though it does get 3 towers. So what would I know? Now, I'm very critical of these tower Earthquakes. As you know, this entire tournament I've been slamming any player, regardless of whether they're my friend or not, for Earthquaking towers. Yellow, it's not personal, but stop Earthquaking towers, man. So, our red tribe going to get a nice little warrior run by on into one of the Fire Warrior training huts. Now, Yellow does have a second Fire Warrior training hut on top of that one. There are actually 2 Fire Warrior training huts for Yellow. So, probably won't be annoyed too terribly that he loses that first one. But it does slow down the Fire Warrior production, and it really is these Fire Warriors that are making it difficult for Balloon to launch an attack. This difficulty for Balloon going to be dealt with by aggressive plays. Lightning's coming forward. Both of them fail to find the mark. But Yellow actually misses both of those lightnings as well. I saw the flames. I thought she was going to win. Both Shamans just abandoned lightnings and go for the blast door. Red Shaman loses, but only because a tower intervened. Even more red troops going to be pouring into the base. The Fire Warriors actually get a nice volley off onto the Shaman, securing her demise and allowing the troops to do what they please. Don't know what my cursor is doing over here, but it is over here now, so don't worry about it. 147 population out of 196 for red, 107 out of 169 for yellow. You see red's got another Firestorm available to him, so could continue to do a lot of damage here. So even more red warriors going to come in, but look at that pathfinding, man. They want to skirt around the edge of that coast. It's living life on the edge. Stiff breeze could knock them into the water. Unfortunately, the Yellow Shaman is not in position to do so. But what she is in position to do is absolutely nail red with a lightning, securing the kill there. Well placed lightning indeed, as red is threatening to break the 200 pop cap. So the Yellow Shaman is throwing down blasts and swarms, trying to deal with the trickle of troops that are coming her way to try to slow her down. One of the towers does fire a shot off on her, and she's just going to frontline Earthquake yet again. It's going to cut horizontally, but leave a nice little bit of a wall. And that little bit of a wall is brilliant, because it means you can just land bridge to it and replenish that entire defense. See, look at that. Ain't that a thing of beauty? Now, those of you who don't play terribly much Populous, you may have never looked at the spells panel before. The spells are actually ordered by mana cost. The cheapest spells are at the bottom, most expensive at the top. You can see there's Land Bridge, there's Earthquake. You don't even need to know the exact values to see that Land Bridge is significantly cheaper than Earthquake, so the fact that you can just counter that with a single Land Bridge is kind of the visual representation as to why you have to be more careful with your spells. You can be incredibly inefficient, as red wastes a Firestorm. Be incredibly efficient when you've got a huge pop lead, but even then, if you play with efficiency even while you're super far ahead, it makes your wins much, much easier. We can see now that the damage is starting to come in. Yellow's defense looked formidable 10 minutes ago. We were talking about how there were towers everywhere, and Yellow's got double Fire Warrior production, churning out troops, stopping red getting in, and, preventing red from being able to do anything meaningful. And here we have the first Earthquake onto what is the actual base of Yellow. It only does get one large hut, but still it is a large hut within the base itself. And that's a telling sign of the vulnerabilities that Yellow base is now starting to suffer. And all that damaged ground is going to make it hard to rebuild all the lost towers as well, as Yellow's base starts to look a little bit like cess from all the low ground. Quite funny. Yellow Shaman goes for a little magical journey. She goes flying off. Lightning does not quite connect with her, so she just ascends to the heavens instead. And there goes our red Shaman, who's just going to skirt around Yellow. Get a nice little Earthquake off, probably die for it. Yep, does die as Yellow's lightning follows up, but there goes another two huts, one shaking down in the horizon and the other sinking. Yellow's going to look for a counterattack. We'll see if Yellow is able to make anything happen here. But the pressure has certainly been very real and very high. I don't think our Yellow Shaman has been able to do terribly much about it. So, just like that, we've got a blast spam coming on in. Yellow does clear one of the towers, throws down a Firestorm, then gets pushed into the water via Bray. Both of these Shaman players have been so wasteful with their Firestorms. Craig would be fuming. That's Craig at the beginning. A fellow Populous at the beginning YouTuber. He's well known for his love of Firestorm on towers. Is Craig. But you can see that yellow does still have a healthy base, with the majority of it upgraded and even some trees. The towers on the side strip have been filled, but there's just this huge gaping hole in the middle. And that's really got to be filled anytime soon if yellow wants to keep themselves in the game. Red throws out a cheeky lightning, does not find the kill. Follow-up swarm onto the fire warriors, going to send them a running. Even more lightnings traded, both shamans go down. That benefits our red shaman, who's looking to make a play with troops. You can see large amount of warriors coming in on the side. Red even stealing away that hill, like we said right at the very start. Got fire warriors patrolling on there, which is good. They provide decent fire support, as these warriors now spread out amongst what would be yellow defense. Yellow only has defense on that side strip, so if that gets torn down and opened up as well, yellow's base is completely vulnerable. Red could approach from any angle, any vector, and just completely open him up. So yellow's doing what he can. He does have lots of fire warriors. Some of the red warriors are going to make it through the defense, but they did get softened up. You can see how long this warrior is taking to kill Braves. Damage that units deal is representative of the health that they have. The more health they have, the more damage they deal. So warriors that have been softened up by towers not only die quicker, who knew, but they actually deal less damage as well, meaning they will kill less Braves. So softening up those warriors is especially important when you're dealing with these big troop pushes. Don't necessarily have to kill the unit completely. Perfect example of that is a warrior that has been direct blasted, so long as he takes the full damage from the direct blast and doesn't do that little short hop thing. A warrior that has been direct blasted will then lose to a full health shaman in a fist fight, whereas a warrior versus a shaman without any spell intervention, the shaman will lose to warrior. Here comes our red shaman now looking to challenge yellow. Yellow dancing around on the defense, looking for the solace that is high ground. And our red shaman really should just leave. Should just go far away, because the yellow shaman's obviously going to dodge into a tower and just start firing lightnings. Be really annoying like that. And our red shaman should just go and leave and go in on the other side of the base. So there goes our red shaman. She goes a little bit too close to that tower. There was the warning. Lovenji's wise words, followed by the inevitable prophecy that is yellow in a tower. So red's base, trees be damned, red base is almost finished, which probably explains why red has had so much population to just throw away, and even the mana to just completely waste firestorms as well. Population for yellow, 117 out of 171, so yellow's not doing awfully. Losing a lot of troops almost constantly, though. Has never really seen the top of that green bar. And you can see the little swords icon on the minimap indicating that red has managed to get some troops into yellow's base. Yellow shaman has south, however, trying to push forward with a firestorm. Lightning from the red shaman does come down, but it does not get the kill. Tornado from red to follow up as yellow manages to secure the kill on our red shaman. This could be yellow's opportunity to counterattack and deal some responding damage. Damage in response? I don't know. Deal some damage. And there's the earthquake from our yellow shaman. And it gets a hut. And it kills some pot. So yellow's now also found it gets 2 huts. Never mind. Should see another earthquake coming out from yellow here. We know that yellow has it. 124 pop out of 187 with another earthquake in the chamber and a couple of tornadoes as well. Fire warriors approaching from behind, so time swiftly running out for our yellow shaman. There's the other earthquake. Going to go down in amongst the large huts. Yeah, gets another hut for her troubles. She does eventually go down. She's sitting at 117, 116 out of 182, but her population is dropping. You can see all those little red dots on the minimap. Those are all troops that have gotten into her base. Looking very bad for our yellow players. Should expect a GG anytime soon. Yellow's really starting to fall behind. And the red shamans are looking to push on in as well. Blast going down onto one of the fire warriors as the troops struggling to decide whether to shoot the shaman or the warriors that have gotten into the base. Here is our red shaman. Good use of the blast trick to negate some of the damage from the fire warriors. The swarm does go down, as does the firestorm. Again, a little bit of a waste. There wasn't really any defense there, just a couple of warriors. The lightning does come down, though. Does secure the kill onto our yellow shaman, who just GG's out. That is the end of game number 1. Whoa, we're in game. It's the worst map in the world, and I'm lost. Hey. What is up, everyone? It is Lovenji Gaming, and we are here with game number 2. The best map ever. This is the semi-finals of the Invisible Cup tournament. The last semi-finals, actually. After this, we will know who our players are fighting for 3rd and 4th place, and who our finalists will be. 3rd and 4th place match will, of course, be tomorrow. That is the 23rd. For those of you that aren't watching on YouTube and are watching this live. With the finals match being on the 24th. We had a little bit of a drama getting this to work on stream, so we're running 2 hours late today. Everyone's a little bit tired, everyone's a little bit frustrated, but we are here. We are underway. We are playing games. Playing as the Yellow Tribe. Yellow base for this game of Nubrimnir Palace. This is Pop TB Firestorm. Up 1 game already, drawing in close on that juicy finals money. Playing as a Red Tribe. Red base. Pop TB Balloon. So, those of you who have never played Nubrimnir Palace before, there's not very many of you, but I do know that there are some. The map, in the gargoyle in the center, is a single shot land bridge spell. These create a land bridge effect that connects the base to the middle strip. Everyone gets a spy hut, which typically gets dismantled. It's not on the building panel. So you get the 1 spy hut, you get 1 fire warrior training hut as well. Most people typically dismantle this and use the wood for building and upgrading. You get a very limited amount of trees, which means your harvesting has to be on point. Now, Balloon did pick this map, and Balloon is not a player that I would say has a very strong harvest game, based on previous Hollow Fields performances. So I'm quite interested to see that he chose this map. Typically, this is a 2v2 map with players being as scummy as possible. Cess typically brings out... I should also say that Cess is the community name for Nubrimnir Palace. Apparently there was some naming drama in which all the names got changed and versions got switched around, and it was really controversial for like all of 3 people. So if I say Cess, I also mean this map. Cess has a habit of bringing out the absolute worst in players. You get people earthquaking to cut people off. You get flattens to disconnect the paths. It just promotes douchebaggery. If you've ever played with Babbo, he'll train a spy and burn all your trees because he doesn't want anyone to have any fun in any game that he plays in. Cess just really brings out the worst in players. And that's probably why some people love it. So we've got a few ghosts patrolling on the high ground. Now that the game has actually begun, I can talk a little bit about the match and a little bit less about Cess. Population's 20 out of 32, 20 out of 26, respectively, for yellow and red. Inca Warrior, Populous Reincarnated's administrator, the service that all of this has been done through, has also wants people to know that he gets a spy and burns all the trees. So there you go. Is administrator approved that you be a douchebag on this map? Red Shaman does go down, but nothing will come of it, really. Yellow Shaman doesn't have an earthquake yet. So there's a couple of strategies you can do with this Spy Warrior wood. A couple of players like Ice-T will just take the wood back and use it for building and upgrading to finish out the base a little bit quicker. Players like myself and Leaf use the 8 wood for a spy hut. 4 piles here, 4 piles here, 1 pile from each tree, and build 2 extra towers. So you've got a 3 tower defense on the strip, making it a little bit harder to get through. You'll also see typically most players will move their Fire Warrior training hut because this is very exposed. You can get to like here and earthquake it, and the right set of RNG just completely screws you over. So most players will find a window to move their Fire Warrior training hut as well. Fire Warrior is being used to harass the Shaman, as is a large number of ghosts. Yellow's been pretty active about building towers, even staggered a couple here so that they are less likely to get taken out in a singular earthquake. Ooh, perfect little blast trick there from our Red Shaman. So this map doesn't often get used for 1v1s. I actually haven't hated this map as a 1v1 map purely because it's a lot harder to do the douchebaggy strategies that make sets really annoying when there's only one player. You know, you can't cut off someone from their ally and then double out their other, the non-cut ally when there's only one person on each side. And these bases also provide nice little mid-game expansions or early-game expansions. If you're Pop TV Boat, we saw Boat try to blast some Braves over here and promptly got demolished for doing it. So our Red Shaman pushing down, trying to be threatening. For some reason, this is high ground. Those of you that are brand new to Populous, the elevation of the ground does affect the range of the spells. So yes, you are correct in assuming that the Shaman up here has a greater blast range than the Shaman down here. It's just one more reason to be annoyed at the map of Sass. Blasts do come down. Oh, that wasn't water. That wasn't water at all. Ghost Army does come down, though. Red Shaman throwing down them spooky ghosts. They're going to get in the tower, clear out this Fire Warrior. Our Yellow Shaman's a little lacking in troops right now. This is typically what you also do on Sass. Some other maps you do it as well, but especially Sass because of all the water. You do for the annoying Braves. You send Braves 2 by 2. Alternating with Fire Warriors at the Shaman to make it impossible for her to progress, or at the very least, very difficult. So Yellow Shaman does have a land bridge. Nice lightning from our Yellow Shaman, going to secure the kill onto the Red Shaman. Now, if Yellow is a noob, Yellow can go over here and make a land bridge. If Yellow is smart, Yellow can go over here and make a land bridge. And if Yellow is wanting to get out of Cess as quickly as possible, Yellow can go to the middle and try to attack Red. Oh boy! So this is what you see. Okay, that couldn't be more perfect. I was talking about the ideal start in 2v2 Cess. It's exactly this. One of you rushes Earthquake, you cast it here. This would cut off, this would be blue base in a 2v2. This would be where blue is. So blue's now cut off and has to charge flatten. And while blue's doing that, you just both double the hell out of red. That was literally a perfect demonstration of how Cess is played and why nobody likes the map. Alternatively, because Earthquake is pure RNG, it could have cut this way and then both players are just sat waiting to reconnect to the middle. Really could go either way. Shaman on a high ground with lightnings, one of the other beautiful things about Snubrum near Palace. Yellow Shaman. It's getting dangerously close to the edge of the coastline there, but not actually going in. Follow-up blast from our Red Shaman going to be doing a little bit of damage. Yellow Shaman's getting bullied a little bit. She's not very confident without her lights, I don't think. She's getting harassed quite a little bit. So the Red Shaman wins the Shaman duel, but has no spells to actually capitalize on it. Yellow Shaman's only got one land bridge. Red Shaman with only one tornado. So I don't really know what Red wants to do here. Maybe tornado the Fire Warrior training hut, but it is a Fire Warrior training hut. There's no guarantees the tornado will do the full 8 woods damage to the Fire Warrior hut. Still don't know why that's a thing, but it is a thing. Here come the annoying Braves. 2 by 2 they come, 2 by 2 they fall. And yeah, the Red Shaman has to leave because there's just too many Braves. It's really annoying. So Red retreats, having done nothing but putting a nice little dent in Yellow's pop. I mean, Yellow's at 39 population and hasn't expanded out here using their land bridge. So Yellow's not going to get any bigger than Red is. Oh, Yellow! Can't do that! Yellow burning his own trees. Red Brave's going to be sent on in. They are ghosts. Just be a little bit annoying. Yellow didn't finish the base. There's you can get a hut here. There's going to be a tower there instead. Oh, a couple of those Braves were real. One of them was real. That's a real corpse. Yellow's clearly been lazy about harvesting because missing half the trees in this base. Shouldn't really happen in Cess. Cess is, for all the annoyances, when it comes to wood management, Cess is pretty perfectly balanced in that regard. You have the exact amount of wood to harvest to build out your normal base on Cess. On average, you'll lose maybe 1 or 2 trees. It's probably the only compliment you'll ever hear me giving Nubrum near Palace. Is that its wood to hut ratio is kind of perfectly balanced for the harvesting metagame that it tries to create. Those tornadoes going to go off into... Really? Large hut takes 2 pieces of wood's worth of damage from that horizon tornado. Red stealing wood like a cheeky little git. Red's done an even worse job of maintaining the trees. So there you go. Both of our players that have been predicted to be very good, but clearly they're not professional Cess players, as neither of them have really built out an impressive base and managed the wood properly. But it could be for nothing. Our Red Shaman's going to be pushing in here. Still doesn't have any earthquakes. Red Shaman could win this without the use of earthquake. There goes the tornado. It does completely destroy the Fire Warrior training hut, and that's going to cause a lot of problems for our Yellow Shaman. Blast going down on the Braves, going to pick up a lot of the population as a lightning. Does not kill the Yellow Shaman there. She goes ping-ponging between the huts and retaliates with a lightning of her own. The Red Shaman going down. Oh no, she's still alive. What? How did that happen? What black magic fuckery is that? She went in the water here, then came out the other end, then just carried on. I don't know. Oh, there you go. Yellow got it. Yellow's got access to the secondary base now, so it could recover from some of this damage. Red Shaman's going to think about charging something other than Tornado now. Because our Yellow Shaman has the potential to get very, very big. was so convinced that Red Shaman died there and she's just still alive. So, Yellow's starting this well, I think. Going to be getting the wood and trees chopped on down. Yellow Shaman going to be pushing on up here. Some red fire warriors patrolling in a circle. Looking menacing. And it doesn't matter how menacing you look, you do go down. Yellow Shaman going to retreat to the base now. She's done her token little bit of polite damage. So the Fire Warrior's trying to keep her pinned in the base, but really, game is going to slow down to a crawl. Looks like a Yellow Shaman, in his attempt to... In his attempt to harvest the trees, he's actually just cut a bunch of them down. Second Fire Warrior training hut coming up nice and quick, though. Just going to replace the one that was lost over here. This is eerily reminiscent of another CES game that I watched, in which our yellow player built out the second base and proceeded to do very little. Flatten for our red shaman player. Has already flattened this out. Needs to come over here and flatten this out. Doesn't want to give up the pressure on the front line. First, however. Lightning comes out from our red shaman. 2 lightnings coming out from our red shaman, failing to find the kill. On to yellow. Yellow's going to push up now. What spells does yellow have? 4 lightnings, double earthquake, 1 tornado. I don't know what red's doing with all his mana. So far behind on mana, despite having double yellow's pop at one point. Unless he used a couple of tornadoes and he's thrown away lights like you wouldn't believe, but... Just going to use some of the troops, tear this down. I mean, our red shaman's got a flatten. Could even just connect over here and just take up the Fire Warrior training hut again. The yellow shaman's going to camp over here. Go over here and just come in this way. Take this out. Oh, it looks like that's exactly what he's going to do. In fact, he's bringing some warriors along. Now, I hate warriors in the main base of... Oh, red's moved his Fire Warrior training hut. I hate warriors in the main base. Normally, warrior training hut should be on first expansion. But they're going to serve a purpose here. We're going to get on into this expansion, start doing some damage. They're going to get into the Fire Warrior training hut, which is big. A couple of Fire Warriors been sent into huts. That's cheeky. I like it. The Fire Warrior is going to be brought forward for support as well. Now that Fire Warrior could very easily win because if you look, their shots are not timed to his shots. Although the Warriors are certainly going to make a big mess of that. Red troops finding a lot of success here. What is the Red Shaman doing? Building a million towers, even though she's got no trees. Stop building towers! You've got no trees! Wood management is not our red player's strong suit. Put out some very impressive games and shown some very impressive shaman skill. Wood management, not so much. Gonna connect to the second base though, and that's gonna give him access to plenty of surplus. Give him access to a surplus of wood. I was going to say superfluous wood, but that's not what we want. Those red warriors are still there being annoying. Red warrior's going to get into the main base now as well. Yellow shaman calls GG. Probably going to surrender shortly thereafter, I think. Our red shaman being victorious without casting a single earthquake. If our yellow shaman does surrender after that, GG. There you go, there's the surrender. So the red shaman gets a no earthquake victory on Cess. Oh baby, a triple. Here we are. This is game number 3 of Populous Beginnings Invisible Cup, the final of the semi-finals. That was a weird choice of phrasing that I will never use again. This is the last of the semi-finals, where we will find out who goes on to the grand finals against Earthquake, and who will go into the losers finals versus Tornado. We are here on Bifrost. It is game number 3. Playing as the yellow tribe in the red base, not confusing at all. It is Pop TB Firestorm. Players are currently setting their resolutions right now, so I have time to dabble over this. Already on match point, looking to make his way into the finals. It is Pop TB Balloon. We've actually had this in a couple of games now, and it's proven. You can just completely cancel this core, and in the 1.5 version of the game, your shaman will continue to come back. So, you know, get out the gates, boys. You can do that again now. So, players build nice and quickly. Both sides start with the hut. Makes it a bit easier for them to build. But all we're going to see at this point is we're going to see a lot of converting. I always mix this up, but I'm pretty sure that this one is the Firestorm and this one is the Earthquake within these two maps. Both create that retrospective spell when prayed to. The reveal of the players will be done directly after the finals have happened. Quick warrior training hut coming out for our red shaman. There is a fire warrior training hut on the way as well, but it's quite exposed. Gotta remember with this map, this very quickly becomes the front door because of how close it is. That's only a 4 land bridge back door there. So you don't want any valuable buildings on that side of the map. Controversially, the warrior training hut is at the front here, so our red shaman's kind of put his troop huts in the 2 worst positions. Could put both down here and then go for the Firestorm head. Probably the best place for them. See, there's the first land bridge. We do know that our red shaman does want to contest for the Firestorm Stonehead, and as a result, this is a really stupid place to put a warrior training hut. Yellow in a tower, going to be making plenty of land, building out a base. Nice to see you, Oren. Nice land bridge. Nice long land bridge, going to connect him to the middle. He's bringing the 6 Braves as well. Going to get that prey on for Firestorm almost immediately. Oh no. Oh no. Oh no. Population's 35 to 27. Despite the early expansion, our Red Shaman player much further ahead, and our Yellow player hasn't built a Warrior Training Hut yet. It does look like this is a temple, though. I could be wrong, but this looks like a temple plan to me in Worldview. Let's watch this break get out of the way, and let's see what... Oh, that's a temple. Oh, that's a temple. So, 6 Braves gonna be praying away at the bobbing Stonehead. It rocks gently back and forth. Remember, this is an earthquake. This is a firestorm. What on earth? What on earth created this? Oh, there's the firestorm raining down from above. Only one of the Braves died by the looks of it. Oh no. There's another one stuck in there. I just miscounted. Another 6 being brought straight forward almost immediately. Too soon! Too soon! Too soon, Red Shaman! Too soon! Look at that damage. Oh boy. So, our Yellow Shaman recognizes the presence of warriors on the field, and Yellow Shaman has done something smart. Yellow Shaman's got the temple. The preachers counter the warriors, the fire warriors counter the preachers, and the warriors counter the fire warriors. This is the triangle of Populous. You don't see it very often because people just take the temple off. So the troop triangle is more of a line. But Earthquake does go the way of our Yellow Shaman player, so now there's 1 Earthquake and 1 Firestorm in the chamber. Red Shaman's going to look to start being aggressive, I strongly suspect. Nope, never mind. Changed her mind once again. I don't actually know what our Red Shaman is doing. A little bit of upgrading going on. Let's take a little look at the bases. See a large hut, a few medium huts, but not expressly quick upgrading going on here. Pretty much matched like for like with the Yellow Shaman, who has built a wall of towers on this weird land bridge nonsense that he's managed to do. Populations 50 out of 60, 41 out of 45, red, yellow, respectively. So Red Shaman's going to get another prey. It's going to give him the 2nd free Firestorm. Our Yellow Shaman going to get the 2nd free Earthquake as well. We've had this problem before. Players, you know, the Yellow Shaman has expanded, which means in the longer game, Yellow Shaman is going to get a bigger base. Oh, Earthquake cut the exact same way. Red needs to be using these spells. Firestorm's a big spell to have. You should be using it before Yellow can really fortify. Too late. Yellow's now built towers and filled them. So what is the Red Shaman going to do now? She's going to have to walk away. Ghost Army being used to try to get a cheeky push on the Shaman. Not going to achieve anything. I don't know what our Red Shaman's been charging. 3 land bridges and a tornado. The Ghost Army going down. Ghosts are no match for the power of a real brave. Look at him go. He dead. Yellow's token 2 preachers have also been brought to the front line in case warriors dare venture. Problem with this is a ramp directly up and directly down, so warriors could easily attack this side of the base if Red bothered to connect to it. Well, Red's got plenty of land bridges, but it doesn't look like Red wants to do anything but patrol in a circle. Now, the longer this goes on, the more of an advantage that Red loses, because you've got 2 free Firestorms and you're not using them. Yellow wasting the 3rd free Earthquake and losing the 6th pop. No longer Earthquakes in that stone head. Neither player actually doing anything to one another here. This game's slowed right down to borderline boring. Ghost Army comes down. Oh, followed by a lightning from the Red Shaman, but does not find the kill onto Yellow. Yellow Shaman's going to retreat. She's looking for high ground. It's been a favourite of Firestorm to look for bits of high ground across the tournament. Even more ghosts coming, both players playing this very patiently, kind of annoyingly patiently. Finally, Red Shaman goes down. I say finally, not because I've got anything against Balloon, but I just want to see something happen. Finally, the death of the Red Shaman means something's going to happen in this game of Populous. It took 11 minutes for something to happen, but at last something has happened. Now our Yellow Shaman's going to be pushing forward, throws down a blast onto one of the Braves, which actually slows down the Preachers because they stop to preach to a corpse for some reason. Swarm does go down. I'm going to enter the tower and send the Fire Warrior within running. Not a fan of bees. Fun fact, any of you ever do any Populous modding, there is an object in the library that is just one of those little black dots. Our Yellow Shaman does go down because Fire Warriors are great. One of those little black dots you can put on your map. It's so unbelievably stupid. Now, we have a backdoor from our Red Shaman. Sort of. Missing a land bridge. But look, there's Holy Boys. In fact, the Red Shaman's going to back off. Yellow Shaman is alive. Yellow's Brave's going to run in. And now it's all gone a bit Pete Tong. Oh, Red's got his own preachers. That's good. There's no distinct preacher advantage to Yellow. Red did see the temple going down and has built his own. Yellow Shaman going to be the one to connect to our Red player. Gets a little bit of a high ground advantage as well as Red throws away lightnings left, right, and center. Oh, Red Shaman gets the land bridge save. Our Yellow Shaman. Wow. red shaman going into bird view there so that you can click on the shaman directly within the tornado. You saw the blast go straight up and hit the shaman motto. You can do that if you're quick enough and go into bird view. Hello, preacher. Good. Oh, gets another one as well. What is bird view? It's this monstrosity. This is bird view. Doesn't it look horrible? Firestorm comes down. Does more damage to the Red's warriors than it does yellow, I think, if I'm honest. But I think part of that is because Red knows he can secure this again and get another free Firestorm. Yellow Shaman's going to get in and use the free double Earthquake. Earthquake's a great spell, but let's see what double Earthquake does. Remember, that's a part of the official Lovenji scale that was developed as part of this tournament. That free double Earthquake, pretty much awful. So our Yellow Shaman does have the high ground advantage and can just dance around the high ground. But our Red Shaman player is getting an advantage on this front. And if this Preach ever finishes... I had a hiccup and then a yawn. If this Preacher ever finishes, he could pray to this, but I don't think he wants to. Oh, lightning to try to interrupt the Preacher, but it's not quite enough as the Brave continues to listen to this really good story that this guy is telling. Like, have you heard about Yellow Shaman? Have you heard she's really good? She can get 2 huts with as many earthquakes. It's the pinnacle of power. You see over my shoulder, look at the power of the Yellow Brave versus the Red Brave. The Yellow Brave is clearly stronger and superior, and you should listen to me. And you should become a Yellow Brave. The Yellow Brave's losing the fight. Disregard the fight going on behind me, as I will now tell this guy also how great the Yellow Tribe is. Fire Warrior has been clicked onto the Red Shaman. A good blast clears them all up. A follow-up blast just to make sure they all die. It's probably not necessary, our Red Shaman. Gonna be pushing on in. We're gonna see the other Firestorm soon, I would hope. No? Yes? No? Maybe? What is the Red Shaman doing? Oh, troops. So all the Fire Warriors were clicked out of the towers onto the Red Shaman. They then got blasted / firestormed, and now the Yellow Shaman is actually still alive to deal with the troops, so never mind. The Warrior Preacher combo did massacre the Preachers that were set to defend, so the Yellow Shaman is kind of forced to deal with that. So Red Fire Warriors come in, but they walk directly into a Firestorm, so they start to run around a little bit because they're on fire. Red Shaman alive, which means our fight continues. Red actually significantly behind Yellow in population, which comes as a little bit of a surprise. I don't know what Red's doing with his pop. They have very similar maximum populations, but Red's just hemorrhaging pop. Yellow just blasting away a couple of troops. Red's Firestorm's not been too amazing, but they have gotten some damage done. you know, to their credit, a little bit of damage has been done. Once again, Preacher's going to carry on talking about how great Yellow Shaman is. Red Shaman standing at the back door. Yellow Shaman standing at the back door. Preacher's patrolling. Yellow is building. Once again, we are back to nothing happening. Yeah. So there's a good little army of preachers and warriors patrolling there. I don't normally address chat while I'm casting, but I'm going to say Dynasty Warriors 3 was a hell of a game addiction. And the fact that you would snap that disc is just truly monstrous of you. Because that was an amazing game. Lightning comes down from our Yellow Shaman and gets the most BS knock into the water I've ever seen. We're going to be seeing some pressure from our Yellow Shaman, who has charged a double earthquake, so going to get in here with a Preacher. Potentially use another double earthquake to cause some very real damage to the red base. Nope, going to use it on the damaged ground instead. Instead of going over here and double earthquaking all of this, we're going to use one on damaged ground. Now remember, damaged ground cannot become water, so anything sat on damaged ground will not sink. And 2 huts go down there, but imagine if it was earthquake. Oh, never mind. Way more damage than initially anticipated. Perhaps there's hope after all. Our Yellow Shaman is miles ahead. 114 population to 45. As the priests come in from all angles. Oh, I really thought Red Shaman was going to get pushed by that Preacher into the water there. So our Red Shaman doesn't want to surrender. It's going to be an uphill battle for our Red Shaman, so we could be hunkering down for a long game here. But what could be the deciding element are these Preachers. Plenty of Braves over here. Plenty of Braves over here. This hut, if you had fire warriors in here, they couldn't be breached. They'd be able to shoot without being breached. Big Firestorm coming out of our Red Shaman. That's the last one that Red does have. Earthquake coming down as well onto Yellow's base. Oh, the Shaman duel! Red gets a critical kill there. Gonna be trying to push in and get all of these priesters. Sorry, the community calls them priests, even though they're preachers. But the modding, the actual code of the game calls them priests. So I don't know whether I don't know, and I just tried to combine the two. So instead of saying preachers or priests, I said priesters. Then tried to stop myself, then said it anyway. Are they spelled religos, Babo, or are they spelled religious? Preacher, priest, religious. This guy's telling a great story. Red Shaman needs to understand. See? Preachers were trying to get this brave, but you can't because of... So, models and when they interact with the hut, the tile that they're on within the hut actually does depend on the hut type. We've talked about this a little bit before about the counter to preachers being fire warriors in huts. Some players are saying that preachers can preach fire warriors in huts. They can for 2 of the hut types. For this hut type and this hut type, fire warriors can be preached from the back of the hut because they appear on this tile here. As you just saw with that yellow brave tearing this down. Oh my god, this preacher's getting so much. With this hut type, the unit appears in the center of the plan, which means these fire warriors cannot be preached by a preacher in that type of hut. I don't know why that's a thing. But it is a thing. So this hut and this hut, unpreachable if you fill them with fubbers. Population 61 to 45, so this game's actually a little bit close now. We did have red on 48 when yellow was on 110. So now this has suddenly gone a little bit close. Lightning does miss for our red shaman, unable to get the yellow shaman out of the base. Quite yet, I'm just seeing what these warriors and preachers are doing. They've cleared everything up. The blast duel begins. Amazing blast tricking out of our red shaman. Equally as good from our yellow. Neither shaman seeing stars yet after a series of quick blasts. Whoa, red shaman once again. Impressive blast tricking. Oh, doesn't quite get it there. Going down to the yellow shaman. The preacher is going to be pushing on in. Chat saying this is really the match of Gabba versus Inca, with the winner getting to decide who owns Populous Reincarnated, but then I have to ask who's Gabba and who's Inca? That's the important question. Because one player is definitely winning right now. Oh, nice little core camp from our yellow shaman, perfectly timed. Red shaman, not quite as quick as Earthquake in getting out of those corn camps. Oh, so many holy men. Preachers galore. They're telling some great stories over here, man. Yellow's looking to lose a little bit of population. Should pull... Red should pull this back, because the yellow preachers are going to show up and cause all manner of interruptions. Oh, this time red is quicker on the draw, manages to break the core camp with a well-placed lightning onto the shaman, and then even move herself out of the way for the retaliatory light. It's good to see a little bit of quick play like that. And that's why I said you should have run those warriors. Because look at this. Bunch of warriors listening. Oh, but the red shaman's getting a boost. Red shaman getting a boost. Gonna be able to stop that preacher. Oh, even gets the shot into the water as well, so he has no chance of surviving. Follow-up blast to make sure that that warrior isn't going to be able to kill any of the warriors in a fight. Armada of preachers surrounding the shaman. Don't do that. They're just begging to be escalated, but don't worry. Red shaman does not have the lightning, so she goes down. Both shamans playing with ridiculously low mana right now. Yellow is only charging lightnings, but look, there's plenty of warriors in amongst the pop, going to be causing a little bit of damage. Why was that preacher in a fist fight with a warrior? It's a situation you shouldn't normally see happen. Get in the middle of the hut. Get in the middle of the hut. No! Okay. A couple of them are going to be able to run away by the looks of it. Look at these preachers. I'm pouring on in. Core camp too slow. Yellow shaman dodges out of the way. Red shaman does go down. That should be GG. Should see the red shaman GG out of this. Unless Red's doing something I haven't noticed. No, Red's got no sneaky preachers. We should just see Red GG out of this game. Quite going down onto the temple as well. Guess the temple and all the braves that were training. Where you going, Red? Just surrender, my friend. We'll get them next time. We'll get them next time. So great. A couple of warriors for the Red Shaman going to go listen to this really cool story that this preacher has to offer. Ooh, cheeky, forcing Yellow to miss 2 lightnings there. Getting a kill. But Yellow's pop's gonna be okay and relatively unaffected. And do you know why? It's because all your pop's being preached, Red. All your pop is being preached. Look, they're listening to great stories. Turns out Yellow Shaman was better after all. Yellow Shaman does get caught walking up a hill, but really, Red Shaman, you're just prolonging the inevitable, my friend. You've got no base. You've got no pop. Yellow has pop because Yellow has your pop. Ooh, sneaky. Yellow Shaman does go down. Once again. Where was all of this earlier, Red? You could have done this earlier when you weren't so far behind, and then you might have won the game and put yourself in the finals. But Yellow's going to say GG. Red hasn't said GG yet. Lightning dodge at first, but the Red Shaman does go down, and with that should be the end of the game. All that remains of Red's population is here. There's the last remaining warrior there. He goes down. Red Shaman is eliminated. Doesn't use the surrender function. Naughty, naughty. But Firestorm does answer back, taking 1 game off of Balloon. Never mind. Didn't deny you the best bit of that soundtrack. Did it myself. What is up, everyone? It is Lovenji Gaming, and we are here with game number 4 of the last of the semi-finals. Our players here fighting for a shot at the finals, where $300 and $250 both await first and second place. Playing as the Red Tribe, currently up 2 games to 1. Red Tribe, yellow base, Pop TB Balloon. His opponent, Yellow Tribe, green base, took a victory on probably one of the longest games of Bifrost I've ever seen. Pop TB Firestorm. So, we're going to hope that there's a little bit more action in this 4 Walls game than there was in the Bifrost game. It was 11 minutes and about 12 seconds when the first Shaman died in Bifrost. Hopefully it won't be that long here in Walls. We're going to be getting the initial convert going for our players. Remember, as spectators, we have the art of just sitting here and watching. And so we always look at these same 5 minutes and we're like, well, what's going on? Nothing really. The players themselves, they've got a lot to do. They've got to be managing all their population, keeping as much of it moving at all times. Make sure they're generating the maximum amount of mana possible. Meanwhile, they're scouting the map to look for optimum converts. Unless you're Balloon, then you're just going to throw fucking converts willy-nilly and hope for the best. They've got an obligation to build up their defense. In this case, they're building up 2 bases. They've got to be looking for troop huts as well. Here we are. 4 walls. This map is... It's an interesting map. 4 walls itself is an interesting map. The problem is it has been overplayed to the point where everyone's sick of it. The side doors are only 2 land bridges, which very quickly open up additional pathways. The back doors are not very far either, and they actually go to the opposite opponent as well, which is a little bit more interesting. You know, this is yellow base, so yellow's back door goes on to blue, and green's back door goes on to red. So it is an interesting map. It's overplayed to death, but it's a very interesting map. We've got an early warrior training hut coming out. Well, that was weird. It looks like our yellow shaman's playing this a little bit more standard, whereas our red shaman's getting an early warrior training hut. Building out lots of pop. Slow on the fire warriors. It has put the fire warrior training hut down. Not where I would typically put the fire warrior hut for this base. I prefer it on this side, but to each their own. I'm not the tournament participant here. I could never get this far in a tournament, even if I tried. Also in true Populous, the beginning community style. Everyone's saying it's a bad map, even though it really isn't, just because they think they're funny. Blasts coming down onto a couple of the Braves here. As a shaman rolls down a hill. The blast doors are less than ideal, and in fact our yellow shaman's going to get in, and has an earthquake. Oh, but she might not get the chance to use it. The blast tricking is good for our red shaman, but the direct blasts are not. Yellow shaman's still going to be alive after that. She's going to throw down an earthquake. Surely, just use your bloody earthquake. Thank you. Oh, what? Yellow shaman still alive. Double warrior training hut going down for our yellow shaman as well. Let's take a look at red's pop. 43 out of 70, 45 out of 71. That's attributed to how quickly red has built this second base. And you can see that red is dismantling it with the fury of 1,000 suns. This is just getting dismantled to hell. That was 4 or 5 huts on the go there with dismantling. Red doing what he can to increase his population. Staying dead even with yellow despite that early earthquake damage. And the earthquake even cut in a good way as well. Both shamans dead. Red shaman needs to shore this up a little bit. Needs to start playing with a much better, much cleaner shaman. Otherwise this will go to a game 5. And red doesn't want that. Doesn't want to get reverse swept out of this game. That could be embarrassing. You don't even want to be in that situation, because even if you win the game 5, it's not fun to be there. To be 2-0 up and then go to a game 5, the psychological effect that that has on a player is absolutely nightmarish. You don't want to be the player in that situation, that's for sure. Red is building fast. Now, we know that red doesn't care about trees. Has never really cared about trees. And walls is a map where you can kind of get away with that. If you overbuild your side defense and don't do like 1 round of harvesting, you'll run out of trees. But you can keep trees alive on walls pretty well. There's a lot of them. double warrior training hut, but no warriors out of yellow. He's just building the base much slower, much more patiently. Fire warriors are plenty, though. While Red Shaman has double Lambridge, 1 Earthquake and 1 Lightning, perhaps looking for an early side door. Lightning onto the Yellow Shaman does find the kill as Yellow Shaman throws down an Earthquake. Oh, not great. Not great. Is that a... Ha 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 ha! This Fire Warrior gets a cheeky shot. Red Shaman goes down. Heath, you can say that all you like, that's not how a tournament works. The map pool remains consistent for the duration of a tournament. So our Red Shaman has respawned. Going to be moving on forward. You can consider it. I'm not going to. So, Lightning from the Red Shaman does miss the Yellow Shaman, but once again, Red's in this puddle of water as well. He really likes sending a Shaman over there. Must be good fishing spot or something. Red Shaman permanently drowning. Getting a mean dismantle on though. Going to get an Earthquake coming down for our Yellow Shaman onto the huts on the front. Going to do a little bit of damage. Population still advantage to our red player though, but Yellow hasn't taken any damage. That's not true, Keith. I considered it for all of half a second. Second Fire Warrior Training Hut coming up for our red player. A nice little backup to have, as well as quicker reinforcing to the side defense that does need to be built up quicker. Red Shaman building even more warrior training huts. And it looks like Red Shaman's dead again. And I saw that ghost rise up. Red Shaman in the water over here again. Constantly swimming, constantly drowning. Here come the Ghost Army Warriors. Some of these are going to be real, some of these are ghosts. I don't know which are which. None of them were ghosts? No, there they are. There be ghost. So, our Red Shaman has respawned, going to be returning to the front line. Misses one lightning, but nails the follow-up perfectly. Double lightning incantation coming out for our Red Shaman, finally securing a victorious kill. Onto yellow, needs to look for a side door opportunity, maybe not over here, this is really heavily fortified. Perhaps the main base is a better target for the side door. Warriors being spread nicely amongst the huts, as well as the guard towers. It looks like there's going to be no side door despite the 2 land bridges available for it and only one of these towers being filled. We're instead going to get an earthquake on the middle. How boring, how trite. Woohoo, we got a hut. Red's Warriors smartly going to retreat. They got the Shaman in. Damage hath been dealt. I'm really disappointed to see Red not go for this side door. This is so free, man. Could have maybe even got a core camp and done even more damage. But here we go. Red Shaman going to be dancing around the Yellow Shaman. Lightning is absolutely awful from both players. Fire Warrior is going to intervene a little bit, bully the Shaman around as the Red Shaman ascends to the high ground. Good use of the blast trick there, avoiding any further damage. The Red Shaman opting to fire out the Earthquake before following up with the blast, but the Yellow Shaman is still alive. Yellow Shaman is still alive, and these towers have not been filled. None of these towers are full. Yellow going to come in for the side door, I suspect, or just walk in through the front. No, it is going to be the side. None of these huts were filled. Look at this. That Shaman was seeing stars. That could have been one tower shot, one easy dissuasion. And now the Yellow Shaman's going to get in. She's only got the one Earthquake, and we can see there is a Firestorm coming down from Red, as well as a Tornado. Plenty of warriors going to be coming on in, but they have to come on in through the side. This Red did not do the typical side door that you would expect. Oh, nice little break on the Fire Warrior training hut there. Sinks another hut down, burns 2, 3 more. The Yellow Shaman still alive, gets a nice lightning onto the group of Fire Warriors that were coming to kill her. She finally goes down. But now what happens over on the other front? The Red Shaman just goes down to the Fire Warriors. That's what happens. Never mind. Great little story. That. Nothing much really happened of it. So after all that has been said and done, population's 192, Shamans still break even. Red spent way more mana to make that happen. Still hasn't used the bloody side door. Yellow's base over here, slow to build out. Double Fire Warrior training hut. Plenty of troops coming from this base. There's no Fire Warrior training hut over here anymore. Could be a good idea to continue to relentlessly chip away at this base. Because Fire Warriors are not going to be able to reinforce it quickly because they're all the way over here. So if you connect this side door and you just start pushing down here continuously, the Fire Warriors are going to be so slow to reinforce that you might be able to get some damage. You know, all the Red Warriors are being sent this side, but this is where all the Fire Warriors are being trained. Look at that. They've been hammered up. They do get in, but they have been hammered up. Pointless Earthquake from the Red Shaman. Trying to apply pressure onto the defense of Yellow. You can see 3 Warrior Training Huts for Red, 2 Fire Warrior Training Huts. 1 Warrior Training Hut for Yellow and 2 Fire Warrior Training Huts. So Warrior production could definitely be in Red's favour. Max population 217, Yellow 185. So Red definitely doing better on that regard as well. Still dismantling a little bit like a machine. Although we are getting some large hut upgrades coming on in too. Red Shaman is alive. Yellow Shaman going to walk forward, throw down the lightning, but misses. But Red does not miss the counter lightning. Yellow Shaman goes down almost instantaneously. Has a little bit of a bounce between the towers before dying. Side over here. Side over here. Side over here. It's so easy and free. Side over here. No, we're going to go middle again. Wherever all the Fire Warriors are, we're gonna do this again. Warriors are brought forward to distract said Fire Warriors. But there's still a lot of them. Lightning onto one of the towers. So many towers still standing. Yeah, Yellow Shaman is alive. And very little has been done. Could throw an Earthquake here to try to lower this land down so that Yellow can't camp on it for high ground lightning. Maybe it will get some of these towers because they're quite clustered together. Oh, Red sneaks right on up there. Gets a cheeky lightning onto the Yellow Shaman, but the tower is going to chase her away. Does have to retreat because she's got to deal with that tower. Lightning onto this tower, please. Thank you. Clearing that up. Shaman does see stars now. Maybe not have the HP. Oh, you clicked those fire warriors on the shaman. What are you doing? They needed to stay in those towers, man. They needed to stay in those towers. The blast spam is going to get the red shaman in. And that's the problem when you just select every fire warrior you have and click them on the shaman. Because these guys were perfectly situated as they were. Oh, red drops the double earthquake on down. And the damage is so nice for the red shaman. The red shaman's actually still alive as the yellow shaman got core camped. Green bar's 263 to 147 and the actual population 103 to 120. But yellow's main base looks like an absolute mess. You could start getting fire warriors on this core, man. Yellow only has one warrior training hut. Does not have the warrior production to... Oh no, there is a second one. Never mind. I'm blind as shit. Okay, I'll just die to those fire warriors. Never mind. I got all excited for nothing. So the warriors are trickling in. Going to be dealing a little bit of damage. The shaman is alive and probably available to clean them up. The trooping is very continuous from our red player, and in fact, not all of those warriors have been killed. It looks like this one's going to die. Oh no, he might get one more kill. He gets one more kill. Yellow Shaman does advance on the tower. She throws down a Ghost Army and then follows up with an Earthquake. The Ghost Army distracts the initial volley from the towers. The follow-up Earthquake's pretty decent. He deals a nice little bit of damage. Not great. Yellow's under a lot of pressure right now. Some people in chat want this to go to a Game 5 purely because the 5th map is Yggdrasil, Pinnacle 1v1 map of Populous. Tyler, on the other hand, lead dev of this 1.5 edition, says he kind of doesn't because he's hungry. Which Babbo wants him to order KFC. As you can see, we're having very in-depth, insightful discussions about the quality of gameplay that we are watching here in the Lovenji gaming stream. It's top quality populusing that. Looks like we're going to get the side door out of red. The monstrosity of towers having been rebuilt. The yellow shaman almost immediately dodging into it. Manages to hit the red shaman with a lightning, but not before she throws down a cheeky little earthquake. Ooh. Does lower the height. No, shaman does like her towers. Can you build huts here? I don't know. Earthquake at the front line from our yellow shaman. Not going to actually do too much. Doesn't even get one tower. Just disrupts the elevation of the ground a little bit. Follow-up Earthquake might actually deal some damage as there's a couple of large huts here. Nope, it cut the wrong way. I heard the yellow shaman scream. Did she just... How did she die? Not entirely sure how yellow shaman died. Or how red shaman died. As the yellow shaman pushes in, didn't see a light cast for yellow on the spell report bar. Looks like our yellow shaman's going to be able to get in, but remember, both of those earthquakes were wasted on bugger all, so yellow shaman now gets into the base with nothing. They trade shaman kills, but that favors red. As red gets to completely reset the pressure, as red has the higher population. Where are you going, mouse? Thank you, mouse. Temporarily died for a second at the edge of the screen. We were going on a magical journey around the world. Red with a population of almost 300. That's a red bar of almost 300. Red bar, green bar. That's the actual population on the field, 148 to 121. Green bars, 299 to 215. So, red took a little bit of an early beating here and here and here. But has managed to bounce back, actually has a much more impressive green bar. But the actual populations have stayed very, very close. Looks like we might see a side door out of a red player at long last. A little bit too late, but hey. Okay. Those are land bridges. Trying to catch the yellow shaman going up a hill, doesn't quite get it. Another land bridge coming in. Still not able to find the kill onto yellow. Cast enough of them and you'll hit eventually. Got some real not great level lightning shots being fired there from our red shaman. She gets into a bit of a fist fight with a brave. Should just let that complete. Really lucky for the side switch the brave did there. Otherwise that was almost a push into the water. So, although this side of the base is almost completely complete, Red Shaman is trying to strip control of the main base. Babo said earlier in my chat, and he might be right, that it's time for a backdoor. Because this backdoor for red opens up directly onto yellow's strong base, and it will open up to where the defense isn't. So it could be a risk. Why are you firestorming towers? It doesn't work. Do apologize, I had my little bit of angry ranting. Everyone's saying AVA detected at that firestorming towers. Isn't it just, man? So yellow Shaman's alive and is going to once again waste earthquakes on towers. Long range light does not quite find the kill. Oh, the what? The reverse of that CES game just happened. The Shaman was on land and then wasn't. She just disappeared. She disappeared, man. Population's 137 to 180. Red really starting to run away with the pop now because all of those large huts have been upgraded. They're going to be churning out Braves like you wouldn't believe. We're looking at 22 Warriors. We're looking at 18 Braves. Not a lot of mana, though, for 188 and 143 pop Braves. Lambridge. You can time out Div, Babo. You are allowed to time out Div. Rip. Ah! They cancel each other out. Lightnings both missing from our players. Red's taking a little bit of effort to fix the front. Yellow saying, you can fix the front all you want. I'm going to hit you with a lightning. Lightning's coming in for our yellow shaman. I'm going to be able to clear out these towers. Ooh, a little bit of a cheeky roll there. The shaman almost going into the water. But she gets her double earthquake off, and look, it's actually on structures instead of towers. Red once again slow at the core. Yellow's managed to bring this back something close. Red's warriors really poorly controlled, meaning they're all grouped up, taking splash damage from fire warriors, and Yellow's warriors are just going to charge on in and clean these up. There's a battle of timeouts going on in my chat right now. I have absolutely no idea who's winning that. So the blast spam is real, going to be dealing a lot of proximity damage to nearby troops as it goes down. Guys, you're creating so much work for me because I have to go and refund all of those later. Fire Warrior's going to fire a shot. Most of these towers are empty, but that doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if the towers are empty. Yellow's going to earthquake them anyway because they're scary. Too tall. Firestorm goes down, but at least it's on a hut this time. Oh, ho, ho. Nice kill from our Red Shaman. Gonna get a decent shot onto Yellow. Now, Red needs to play this patiently. Can get himself into the base here. Should be able to get himself into the base here. Needs to be careful. There is a Fire Warrior sneaking on up to the Shaman. Good forward blast. First earthquake goes down. Second earthquake does go down. Double earthquake bin down and a tornado onto the Fire Warrior training hub for good measure as well. Red Shaman rolls down the hill after the earthquake creates and dies. Combination with a little bit of a push from the Fire Warrior. But that's another attack into Yellow's main base. Yellow's main base looking so weak now. The opportunity for Red is surely to backdoor. Flattens and land bridges, just go. It's right there. This is where Yellow is strong. Take it out. Fire Warriors firing repeated volleys onto the Yellow Shaman. Actually do manage to get the kill. Yellow Shaman throws down an earthquake, which is going to stop her own warriors running in, but that doesn't matter. It does get two of the large huts. And causes a problem for Red, because this tower cannot be accessed anymore. What is that? Oh, that was a double earthquake. Didn't notice the second one going in. I actually managed just to sink a hut. So the Red Warriors are going to clean up the Warriors of Yellow. Yellow once again earthquaking defense to try to create an opening for himself. Backdoor Red. You can do it! Be strategic. Be smart. Be sneaky. Win the game. $250, man. $250 minimum. Too fiddy. Lightning coming down from our yellow shaman, not quite finding the target. I think this is a ghost. He's just chilling. He's having a great time. Double Earthquake going to be used on the defense here. Saved with a land bridge. Maybe. No, not quite. Gets most of the towers. Does open up the yellow base quite a bit. And interestingly, it creates this nice puddle of water. Whether red has the ability to take advantage of this, I do not know. Because red still hasn't prepared for the back door that would just win him the game. But you could land bridge to here. Oh, the red shaman's dead again. You could land bridge to here and land bridge to the side, and there's still this huge puddle of water that just makes it very difficult for yellow to get to you and stop you. So our yellow shaman's going to throw down a swarm. A couple of ghost casts as well. It looks like once again yellow's going to get into red's main base. We should expect a respawn from red anytime soon. The yellow shaman rolling down the hill. Oh! Fire warriors saving the day. They get the combined momentum of both their shots. So here come the fire warriors, clicked onto the shaman. All these towers were empty, but that doesn't matter. Our red shaman's going to earthquake them anyway and kill all of his warriors. Great. So here comes our yellow shaman, red shaman throwing out a couple of lights, failing to find the mark. Oh, nope, looks like she hit him anyway. Weird glitchy death there. None of these towers are really filled. This should be an easy entrance into the yellow base for our red shaman, who is going to use a firestorm on nothing, despite that being a very easy entrance to the yellow base. And then spend half a century walking up this high ground. Nope, changing direction. Good. I don't know what these firestorms are. But a tornado does come out onto the medium hut. Another earthquake going to come down onto the cluster of large huts as well. Gets two large huts for his troubles. Tornado onto one of the warrior training huts, going to help stifle yellow's warrior production. And the shaman's going to continue to blast just to kill as many fire warriors as physically possible. Look at these spam blasts go. Yellow is unable to kill red shaman. Red has 204 population. Red can spam those blasts all day. Yellow on 140 population to red's 204, but yellow is launching a counterattack. Does have two earthquakes and a firestorm, so could finally do some counter damage. Although, all of red's pops over here, I reckon. Ah, the yellow shaman died. Got taken out by fire warriors in a hut. Did get the firestorm off, though. Does the red shaman not see this? Hello? Yeah, red shaman can just spam blast all day. Look at that. Beautiful. Yellow shaman's alive. Got to throw out the lightning nice and quick. Does get it before red can throw out any more shenanigans with his spells. But red's warriors can just pour into this base now. It's completely wide open. This is pretty much abandoned ship. And if Yellow doesn't have this base anymore, set up a few Fire Warriors on this core, because there's not really an easy way to get to it. And backdoor. Just backdoor, man. Just backdoor. Just backdoor. Red's land is actually already back as well, so can immediately replace those huts lost in the Firestorm. $127, 200, 295 green bar. Ooh, nice little push. Almost gets the Shaman in the water there. Fire Warrior's going to fire their volleys as the Shaman uses yet another Firestorm. We've had some nightmarish Firestorms here, but Yellow's had enough. Calls the GG. That means Balloon is going to go on to face Earthquake in the winners' finals. That means Balloon has guaranteed himself, at minimum, $250. $250 going the way of Balloon, even if he loses the final. $300 if he wins. Firestorm will go to face Tornado in the losers match to try to secure whatever that prize is. I think it's $150.